In episode 2, Wanda and Vision are sleeping in separate beds when they're awoken in the middle of the night by a noise, and it's freaking Vision out. He tells Wanda that he overheard some people at work talking about miscreants that moved in around the area, not realizing that he might be describing himself. The noise continues though, and it freaks him out so much that they move their beds together, but eventually they realize it's nothing more than just a tree branch banging against their window. That's not the only banging that's going to go down that night, because when Wanda turns both their single beds into a nice queen, they make whoopee. The next day, Wanda and Vision are practicing their routine for the talent show fundraiser in the community. It's going to be a magic act with Vision being the magician, Wanda being his assistant. Although he's a little worried that they're going to be too good at this whole thing. Wanda loves it because she feels like it's a great opportunity for them to look normal. They both have to head off to separate meetings though, with Wanda heading to the planning committee and Vision heading to the neighborhood town watch. He wants to make sure the town security is up to snuff. But before she heads out, Wanda is in her house and she hears a curious buzzing sound outside. And when she goes to investigate, there's a red and yellow toy plane in her bushes. And in a show that's nothing but black and white, the red and yellow really pops. Wanda goes and picks it up to investigate, and the plane has the exact same markings that the control room had from episode 1. As she's looking at the plane, though, Agnes stops by because Agnes has brought her rabbit over for Wanda and Vision's talent show act. They then head off to the meeting where Agnes fills Wanda in on the queen bee in the neighborhood, a woman named Dottie. She tells Wanda that Dottie is really the gatekeeper to everything in the neighborhood. And I'm talking everything. Agnes says, you get in with Dottie and it's smooth sailing from there on out. Just mind your P's and Q's and you'll be just fine. Although Wanda says, well, I could be myself. And that comment is so ridiculous that it makes Agnes crack up. Dottie and the rest of the women leave Dottie's place, and the group then heads to the pool to start the meeting. One of the women there is a woman named Geraldine who starts complimenting Wanda on her pants. A bold look. But these two chatty Cathys are really pissing off Dottie. Although as Dottie continues to talk, Geraldine and Wanda introduce themselves because they're bonding over the fact that neither of them know what they're really doing there. And this is irritating Dottie even more. After the meeting, Dottie chooses Wanda to help her clean up. And Wanda tells her, I realize we got off on the wrong foot, and I'd really like to correct that. But instead of accepting that offer, Dottie stands up and says, I've heard things about you and your husband. And even though she's terrified of this accusation, Wanda tries to play it cool, saying, I don't know what you've heard, but I assure you, we don't mean anyone any harm. Although, Dottie doesn't believe her. And as the two women are in a stare down, the radio that's on nearby starts acting up. The music starts going in and out with static, and then all of a sudden you can faintly hear a voice saying, Wanda, can you read me over? And it freaks Dottie out, who looks at Wanda and says, who is that? Who are you? The voice continues asking Wanda questions, saying, Wanda, who's doing this to you, Wanda? Although the radio ends up exploding. And when that happens, Dottie ends up breaking the glass that's in her hand and cutting her hand up pretty good. So much for that getting off on the right foot. We then get a commercial for a watch that's made by Hydra. We then move to the talent show, and as the acts are continuing to go on, Wanda's freaking out a little bit because Vision hasn't shown up yet. And when he does show up, he looks drunk, although he's not. Because Vision went to the neighborhood watch meeting looking to find out if the neighborhood's safe, but it turns out the neighborhood watch meeting is really nothing more than the husbands get together and gossip. One of the husbands offered Vision a piece of gum, and even though Vision doesn't eat, he decided to take it anyway. He wasn't planning on swallowing it, but when the one husband pats him on the back, the gum goes down into his stomach and ends up getting in the gears. It ends up causing Vision to just look messed up. Unfortunately for Wanda and Vision, they don't have time to talk about this because they have to go on. And Vision is not sticking to the script. He's being a little too good with the magic tricks. It's got Dottie extremely curious as to what they're up to. It gets to the point where Wanda literally has to use her magic to show how they're doing it. It comes to the big finale with the box that Wanda's supposed to disappear from, but he even screws that up. Wanda saves the day, though. She teleports Geraldine into the box, so their performance is saved. They get an ovation from everybody in the crowd who is impressed. But as soon as they get off the stage, Wanda needs to know what is up with her husband. And it doesn't take long to figure out it's the gum. She uses her powers to get the gum out of him, and all of a sudden he's back to normal. They try to get out of there, but Dottie grabs the microphone, and at first it seems like she's gonna rip them to shreds for their performance, but instead she tells them that what everybody just saw is the first time that any of them have ever seen anything like that at the talent show. It was hilarious. She then gives them the first place trophy to their surprise. They get home and they're in a great mood, and Wanda can't figure out why she ever was worried about the whole talent show fiasco. They're very proud with the way that they were able to blend in, and the best part is, it was all for kids. But Wanda brings up how she wants some popcorn, and when she gets up, suddenly she's pregnant. She looks at Vision and says, "Is this really happening?" And Vision says, "Yes." He goes in to kiss her, but then all of a sudden he hears something else outside, and they go to investigate. They think it's going to be nothing more than a tree branch again, but when they go out in the street, there's somebody coming out of the manhole. They're freaked out. They don't know who this person is, but when he finally emerges, he's surrounded by bees. He's in a beekeeper suit. The suit has the same symbol on it that was in that control room and was on that toy airplane. And then he suddenly looks over at Wanda, but Wanda just says, no. This isn't the way she wants this episode to end, and it goes in reverse back to when Vision noticed that she was pregnant. This time, they do end up kissing, but when she does kiss him, all of a sudden, he starts to turn back into color. And then slowly, everything turns into color. No more black and white for Wanda and Vision. Although the question remains, who's doing this to you, Wanda? Thank you so much for watching this recap. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Like the video if you liked it. Hit thumbs down if you thought it sucked. If you don't see the next video up in the end screen, don't worry, it'll be up soon. And please be nice in the comments section. Nobody likes being told they suck, even if it's true. Oh, and sharing's caring.